Welcome to the universe in a seashell, the podcast dedicated to science, life, and girl power. I'm Kara Bartek and I'm your host. I'm a PhD, an author, and I want to make this world a more equal and opportune place, one girl at a time. Hey guys, and welcome to the podcast. This is Kara, your host, and today I am joined by
me, Cece,
who we can refer to from this point on as the birthday girl.
Yes, I am turning 8 tomorrow, so I'm pretty happy.
Yep, tomorrow is going to be Cece's 8th birthday. We're actually going to be airing this episode on her birthday. But in honor of this very, very special occasion, I need to sing my operatic version of the happy birthday song. So this, I think, is up there in Cece's top 3 of how mom annoys her with when I wear those really gross sweatpants to your school, when I wear those flip-flops that Dad always tries to throw away. And
he needs to throw away the pair that you have right now. He already threw away one of her pairs, and she got really angry and bought another one.
Those are amazing flip-flops, and they're very comfortable, so thank you for your judgment. Anyway, but I think me singing in an opera voice is probably top 3. What do you think?
No. It's 0.
0? So you love my opera voice.
No, it's like 10,000.
So this really, really is seriously a very, very special day for me. It's very difficult to see you grow old so quickly because I feel like I remember you being born just like yesterday. Because you came out and you had no hair. You had
Don't talk about this.
You had 2 orange eyebrows.
Yes, and I also had hair on my butt, so...
Okay, you said it, I didn't.
I wanted to say it instead of you saying it because you kept on talking about it.
Okay, newborns being covered with hair is natural and normal. I think it's
on their butt?
Yeah, it's a vestigial trait of us being monkeys, you know, eons ago when we were born and we were totally furry. Now the only time you're furry is when you're in your mommy's tummy. And you just happen to retain your fur a little bit longer. And it was cute. I braided it and took a picture.
Aww.
Just kidding.
It couldn't be that long.
No, but seriously, happy birthday, Caroline. And I am going to sing to you in my opera voice. Happy birthday to you. You live in a shoe. You look like a monkey. And you smell like one too.
Okay, that was just totally weird and not necessary.
But anyway, happy birthday, Caroline.
Thanks, Mommy.
So since you are my main science chick and this podcast is totally dedicated to your birthday, I thought you needed to pick a topic that was near and dear to your heart. Now, when we first talked about this, you immediately said, we've got to do an episode on bugs.
And I picked insects, and then my sister, Penelope, which is watching movies with our dad right now, said that butterflies were more of a summer insect. So then we thought, what is jumping?
Well, no, she said they were more of a spring insect, remember?
Yeah, so we asked ourselves, what is jumping, what is in June, and what is a bug? A jumping June bug.
Bingo! Yeah, because when you think about bugs, so again, like Caroline said, we were like all about butterflies. We were like, we've got to do butterflies, a podcast about, the butterfly life cycle, because, we're out here in the country now, and we're seeing way more butterflies than we ever saw in the city. But of course, their numbers are starting to go down because just like Penny said, it's no longer spring. So the one bug that we're seeing all the time when we turn on the porch lights, when we bring a fresh glass of tea on the porch, or when you open the door to let the dogs in, you let 30,000 of your best buddies in. June bugs.
Today this is kind of weird, and I only saw three of the things that I saw. I saw this afternoon. I was going to get the gate, and I was going near like this fence that marked our property, and I saw 3 butterflies lined up in a row.
What kind of butterflies were they?
There were 2 whites, and then there was this one yellow one.
Huh. Well, we have these really amazing ones out in this part of Texas, which I would consider kind of, I guess, south central part of Texas.
Are those blue and black?
Yes, those blue and black ones. And I'm not exactly sure what type of butterfly they are, but they are extraordinary. They're beautiful, and they're kind of iridescent.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah. So anyway, we decided that June bugs were really going to be our best option if we were going to do a podcast episode all about summer bugs. Because what's more summer than June bugs?
So today I'm going to be taking over to say all the stuff about June bugs. So get ready.
Caroline's taking over the podcast. Or should I sing that in my opera voice?
That's good.
Caroline's taking over the podcast.
Okay, you did not have to do that.
Okay, but before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. Number 1, where you can find the podcast. Remember, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, basically anywhere you get your podcast. We're even on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review, because guess what? Your feedback matters. I want to know how we're doing, what we can improve on, what you like. Let me know. Also, make sure that you tell your friends about this podcast, because remember, the universe in a seashell is all about making this world a more equal and opportune place, one girl at a time. And I can't do that alone. Cece, can you do that alone?
No, I cannot. And even us two can't do it alone. We have to have some help with this. So if you can, help us.
Let them know what you're listening to. And remember, you can reach me on my Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. Of course, my Twitter game super stinks. And Snapchat. And again, my Snapchat game really stinks. But we're having fun with all of those. The man filter. It turns your face, if you're a girl, it turns your face into a man. Did you see the one that turned Dad into a girl?
No, you didn't send me it.
Yeah, it was really scary. Dad's not a pretty girl.
Because he has a beard.
He has a beard, and then he also has this really hairy chest.
How can you see his chest in a filter?
Exactly. That's the problem. Exactly. Let that be part of your nightmares tonight.
Oh, no.
Okay. Also, remember, you can drop me a line at any time at universeinaseashell@gmail.com. Again, that's universeinaseashell@gmail.com. Speaking of the email address, I just wanted to let you know that nobody has answered my question about the Fibonacci sequence. So, if you remember a few podcast episodes ago, I explained what the name Universe in a Seashell meant. Number 1, it's kind of a nod, a tribute to one of my favorite all-time science books, which is The Universe in a Nutshell. But it also, the seashell part of it, refers to this really cool theory principle, basically a number in nature called the Fibonacci number or the Fibonacci sequence. And it represents something very specific about the world and the universe. So I want you guys to do your research because I'm telling you, you won't be sorry. This is interesting, amazing, and I want to hear from you. Why do you think that I call this podcast The Universe in a Seashell? Because of the Fibonacci sequence. Give it a Google and drop me a line. Have you Googled it, Cece?
You didn't let me. You were supposed to.
Sorry about that. I don't like free use of the phone. It makes me nervous because every time that you guys are on my phone, there's always some kind of unauthorized ordering from Amazon. Or y'all watch really random videos on YouTube.
Like what?
I don't know, like people squishing stuff and I don't even know. Like, where do you find this stuff?
Squishies. That's my favorite thing in the entire world.
Yeah, there's entire YouTube channels dedicated to squishies.
What squishies are good?
So what are you guys up to this summer? I'm really curious. Drop me a line. Let me know what y'all are up to this summer. For us, we've been doing, what, dance camp, Cece?
Dance camp. Let me think.
We're going to be starting swimming lessons.
Splashway, swimming lessons, a lot of stuff.
Now, we're trying to stay busy, but of course, Cece always acts like she's extremely bored, even though we're in the middle of the country and there's a lot of stuff to explore. She's still getting used to all of these bugs, aren't you? Especially the June bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got a news article that I really want to quickly cover because I'm all about girls rocking it out in science. And this news article that I ran across is all about a 13-year-old girl named Nora Keegan who is rocking it out in science. So, Cece, when you go to the bathroom, how do you normally dry your hands? Because we're usually faced with several options, right?
At my school, we only have a blow dryer, and that's the only thing I use.
What do you think about that blow dryer?
It hurts my ears after I use it.
It does?
Mhm.
Huh. Okay, well that's pretty interesting because Nora thought the same thing that you did. She felt like every time that she went and dried her hands off with one of these dryers, it was hurting her ears. And she was afraid of it. She didn't like using it. So, and you can imagine how that really puts a kibosh on your hand washing experience. I know Penny, anytime, especially those ones that aren't mounted to the wall on the side. Have you ever seen those ones that you have to stick your hand inside?
I hate those.
Oh my gosh, Penny screams and freaks out, doesn't she?
That's the one that I use in school, and it hurts even more than those ones mounted to the walls.
Yeah, it can really freak a person out. So anyway, so Nora, the 13-year-old science awesome chick, decided that she was going to do a science experiment on this. She was getting ready. It was science fair time and she had to pick a topic. So listen to what she said. In grade 4, I noticed that my ears kind of hurt after the hand dryer. And then later, at the start of grade 5, I also noticed that my ears were hurting after I used the hand dryer. So then I decided to test to see if they were dangerous to hearing, and turns out they are. Did you ever think that a hand dryer could actually be dangerous to your ears?
No, not really. I just thought that they had a purpose to be loud.
Yeah, so listen to this. Nora is based in Canada, and there is, there's regulating bodies to the health and welfare of the United States, right? Well, the same thing goes for Canada. So in Canada, it's called Health Canada. They say and they recommend that you should really keep things under, especially toys, anything that's around a kid whose ears are developing, you should keep sound levels below 100 decibels, okay? Below.
Can I ask you a question? Are my ears still developing?
Absolutely. You know, that's the thing. Really, until you hit probably your 20s, everything on you is going to continue to develop. And that kind of sounds weird. Your brain is continuing to grow. I mean, just think about it. You just lost a tooth a few days ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So the same thing goes for your ears, okay? So again, Health Canada says nothing should be over 100 decibels. Well, guess what? Nora got a decibel meter. And again, a decibel, for anybody out there who's kind of going, what exactly is that? A decibel is unit of measurement for sound. So we have inches and feet for length, and we have pounds and kilograms for how much things weigh, right? Well, for sound, it's called a decibel, okay? So she got a decibel meter, and she realized that a lot of these hand dryers operate at 110 decibels.
110?
Yeah, 110.
That is way over 100.
Absolutely. So you can imagine that these things can be very damaging to a person's hearing.
I believe that it can because Health Canada said anything over 100 decibels can really hurt a child's ear.
So I'll give you an example because, you know, Pawpaw, he doesn't hear so well, does he?
No.
Well, when he was very young, he was a football player, and he played in stadiums with a lot of fans. And the decibel meter was very high. And I believe that his hearing was damaged as a result. Now, of course, he's in his 70s, and so your hearing naturally declines, just like Beetle, our 17-year-old dog, right?
Yeah, she's getting blind and she's already deaf, so I don't know what she's gonna do.
Aging is hard, isn't it? But we're just gonna have to continue to do our hand motions to poor old Beetle. And do our hand motions to Pawpaw, right?
Yeah, whenever he watches TV at night, he always has to turn it up so loud.
Oh, he does. The TV is always super loud. And again, it's because he can't hear really well. But I believe that it was because his hearing was damaged with the very, very loud crowd noises when he was young. So anyway, so the same thing goes for these hand dryers. Now, I already have a beef with hand dryers, okay? Hand dryers are notorious bacteria blowers, okay? Did you know that?
You tell me all the time that they blow around stuff.
Yeah, I personally prefer drying my hands with a paper towel or even a cloth.
Or using hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer, because here's the deal. Hand dryers have been shown to blow fecal bacteria onto your hands.
So what's fecal bacteria? I just want to know, please.
Okay. Hold your horses.
Hooray!
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Fecal bacteria is dun 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 poop.
Poop. Poop.
Yeah. No, okay. So the whole point of washing your hands is to get all of the nasty bathroom bacteria off of them, right?
But hand dryers just blow on more.
Yes, it's gross. So basically the theory goes that in public restrooms, a lot of times there's really high pressure flushers. Have you ever noticed that? Like when you flush it goes
And just like stuff comes flying up.
Well, guess what could potentially come flying up?
Ew.
Little tiny particles of poop that are carrying fecal bacteria.
Disgusting.
I know, I'm so serious. But anyway, so and then it gets airborne and it gets trapped in these dryers, and these dryers are moist and they're hot and they are incubators for poop bacteria.
Ew.
So as if that wasn't bad enough, here we have Nora Keegan, who is proving that they also are damaging to hearing. So what do you think we should do with this finding, Caroline?
I think if a kid, even reads this, they should actually, tell their principal, hey, haven't you considered using paper towels or hand sanitizer or having people use a wet cloth?
Exactly. And this is the beauty of science, right, Cece? I mean, so science is about discovery, it's about understanding, because ultimately what it does is it moves us forward. If there's something that we're doing that isn't to our benefit, look, we've looked at this in a rational, logical way. We've used measurement, we've used analysis, and we have evidence to kind of go, hey, I don't need this thing blowing poop on me or damaging my ears.
Cause and we tried one night, we tried another night to do this, and everybody was too tired, and my sister and Penny was on it, and she said, hey, y'all know that this can actually make you deaf.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
like our dog.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, here we have a chick rocking it out, doing some really amazing science. Okay, and this is a pretty cool thing. She had an issue and she said, "Hey, I'm going to use science and I'm going to figure out exactly what's going on." Now, story's not over yet. So I told you that she used this project in her science fairs. Obviously, she did amazing. But to me, the most amazing part of this story is that her research has been published in a very prestigious journal called the Journal of Pediatrics and Child's Health. It is Canada's premier peer-reviewed pediatric journal. So now, and that probably means very little to you, but let me say this. The top-level scientists in their field, the way that they put their discoveries out there for other scientists to read and for people like you and me to use in our everyday life are in these peer-reviewed journals, okay? So basically, when I say that her work has been published in a premier peer-reviewed journal, that means she has accomplished something that PhD level scientists hope to achieve. And here she is, a 13-year-old girl. What do you think about that?
That's astonishing.
I agree. It's amazing. So, way to go, Nora. You did amazing. All right. So, we've taken enough twists and turns. I think it's time to talk about philophagia. Oh, you can't see the look that Caroline's given me. Philophagia. Look, I actually pronounced this one. I looked this one up before. I really struggled with the dinosaur names, and I said, listen, I'm not going to struggle with this one. Philophagia is a very large genus, more than 900 species of New World scarab beetles in the subfamily, I didn't look this one up beforehand, Melanothanae. Common names for this genus and many other related genera in the subfamily, oh gosh, here's this word again, I'll just skim over that one and just post it in the notes, are May beetles, June bugs, and June beetles. They range in size from 12 to 35 millimeters and are blackish or reddish brown in color without prominent markings and often rather hairy ventrally. Ugh.
Hair on a bug?
These beetles are nocturnal, coming to lights in great numbers. What do you think I'm talking about right now?
Whenever you have a nice glass of tea or a cup of wine and you turn on the lights at night, you always get June bugs. June bugs. June bugs!
Otherwise known as the phylophagia. So, the generic name is derived from the Greek word phylon, which means leaf, and phagos, which means eater. So, leaf eater. Well, that explains a lot, okay? Now, this was pretty interesting to me as we were doing research on June bugs. They referred to these guys as scarabs. Now, I love ancient Egypt. In fact, visiting the Great Pyramids is one of my biggest dreams. The scarab, or that, it looks like a beetle. I mean, straight up, just a regular old beetle, is very prominent in hieroglyphics, mythology, and there was even some movies out there with The Rock. You know who The Rock is?
No.
You sound pretty upset about that. Your life will be enriched once you watch some movies with The Rock. Okay? I'm just saying. Anyway, ancient scarabs, it seemed like something that was very sacred, rare. Come to find out, the June bug, the thing that gets in my hair and that I swallowed one time when I went jogging really early in the morning. Yeah, that was gross.
You ate a June bug?
Yeah, and it was not pleasant. I didn't get barbecue sauce. I didn't get guacamole. Yeah. We used to live in a neighborhood that had streetlights, and one of my favorite things is to run very early in the morning, especially before anybody wakes up. It's kind of, it's my thing. It's my thing. I can't really do that out in the country because I don't want to get eaten by, coyotes or, Bigfoot or anything. So
Quit talking about Bigfoot.
hey, back off. Bigfoot is my friend. I'm going on a Bigfoot hunt one of these days, and I'm going to do a podcast.
No, you're not.
Bigfoot.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Anyway.
Then I'm not going to be on it.
So scarabs, they're talking about June bugs. So let me read this to you. The Egyptian god Khepri, Ra, as the rising sun, was often depicted as a scarab beetle or as a scarab beetle-headed man. The ancient Egyptians believed that Khepri renewed the sun every day before rolling it above the horizon, then carried it through the other world after sunset, only to renew it again the next day. What do you think about that?
That sounds confusing.
Well, to me, it makes the June bug sound a lot better than it really is.
The June bug is awful. It's a bug.
Well, now, what do you have against the June bug, my friend?
They're bugs, they're disgusting, and they eat plants.
You're the one that lets 10,000 of them in the house.
No, I don't. You're the one who lets the dogs out every morning.
I'm sorry, they have to pee. Listen, I don't know why you expect me to cook dinner for you, Penny, and 30,000 of your June bug friends. And you know what, the next time, I'm not going to tell you when they land in your rice, okay? I'm just saying. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, but I said that Cece was going to take over the podcast, and obviously I've been bogarting this entire thing, but Cece's got a lot to say about June bugs, and I'm ready to hear it.
Okay, like y'all all know, there are 4 stages.
Four stages of what?
For a June bug's life. I was going to say that.
Oh, my bad.
So the first stage is an egg. Everything starts out as an egg.
Now, do you mean chicken egg?
I drew out pictures right here. A June bug's egg is not oval like a chicken. It's like kind of roundish, ovalish. It's really weird.
So it's not kind of more rounded on the bottom, kind of like heavy like a chicken egg?
No. And it's not like a circle, and it's not a chicken egg.
Okay. So it's not like a perfect, because when I think of insect eggs, I always think of like perfect circles like spider eggs.
I think only spiders and some animals have like perfect round ones.
Okay. So it's kind of more elliptical.
Yeah, it's like this weird shape. It's really weird. I went over it with my dad, and he said it was like this weird shape. So, it's just weird. So, females normally lay their eggs about 2 to 5 inches deep in the soil.
Really? In the soil?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, that's pretty cool because, I don't know, I guess when I think of insect eggs, I'm thinking of them laying them on leaves.
Because I'll talk to you about that in the larva stage.
Okay.
So they take about, they lay approximately 70 to 75 eggs over a 2-week period.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
In a 2-week period.
Yeah, that's a lot. And it's only 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. I guess it's during the summer, huh?
Mhm. So then we're going to talk about them hatching into grubs.
Oh gosh, you mean grub worms, don't you?
Yes, disgusting.
Grub worms are my least favorite. Well, okay, let me back up.
Beep,
I
beep,
hate
beep,
worms.
beep, beep.
Thank you for the sound effect. Worms are my least favorite. I despise worms.
Why do you despise worms?
I saw a movie, and if there are any parents listening to the podcast, they'll know this movie. I watched Stand By Me when I was very young. I probably shouldn't have watched it. And there's a scene in there with leeches, and they kind of get attached to these boys who go swimming in like a tank, basically. Now, I know leeches are not technically worms, but that movie traumatized me so. These things that to me looked like worms, again, that's how young I was, that could like attach to somebody's skin and like suck their blood. It was too much. So ever since then, even earthworms freak me out.
I have this boy in my class who is really disgusting. And he got this one book from the library. And it still taunts me today.
What is it about?
It's about like 20 or 25, the top 20 or 25 most disgusting stuff.
Are worms in there?
Leeches are in there.
See, I'm telling you, leeches are just, I can't even. No.
I was traumatized for like 5 nights, and it still traumatizes me today.
Yeah. No leeches. That's why you will never see me swimming in our pond. Ever.
You'll see me swimming in it.
You're going to swim in it? Okay. Get ready to pull some leeches off your rear end. That's all I got to say. Okay, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go into that tangent, but okay, so June bugs start off as grub worms. That's pretty interesting.
They start off as eggs, then they go into grub worms.
Oh, okay.
So, like I told my mother here, we're going to talk about them eating plants. Well, my dad told me that they basically eat roots of plants.
Okay.
Which basically kills them. And my dad told me, like when they're in the larva stage, this is just really weird. When after they eat like an entire field of grass, you can go to the field and literally roll up the grass.
Yeah, Dad is not a fan of grub worms.
He hates them.
I know that when he sees June bugs, he always goes, this grass is going to die. This grass is going to die. Because, like you said, he's had experiences where they've had a June bug invasion. There's, all these grub worms that are eating the roots, and it basically destroys the structure of the grass.
Because when my dad was like in college or high school, he worked in sorghum. That's basically his PhD. He worked in like like these fields with grass, and whenever his team or the people he worked with saw a grub worm, I've always seen him do this. He puts it in a bottle.
Yeah, Dad's kind of a collector of bugs. Yeah, he, especially when we're out in the field doing some research, he always takes his hat off and is shaking sorghum heads, and all kinds of bugs kind of go in there. Worms as well. So, but anyway, we're getting off topic. But yes, but it's true. So grub worms are destroying. They eat the roots, but they kind of need to eat the roots, right, to live.
Yeah, and I think I know why the mamas lay them in soil.
Why?
Because I've heard that they mostly lay them in grass.
Because they know that the food's gonna be there, huh?
Yes. So when they turn into larvas, they go into the soil and eat the roots.
But that's pretty smart, right?
Mhm. And then, do you want to go to the next stage?
Sure.
The pupa. This is the last stage before the June bugs mature into adulthood.
Okay.
The brown pupa June bugs start to change color into metallic green.
Metallic green? That's
yeah,
kind of cool.
while assuming their adult shape. So pretend like there's a worm.
Okay.
It starts changing into a June bug. It's like molding its body into a June bug.
That's almost too amazing to believe.
That's
right?
creepy. It's creepy to me because their skin is like moving and it's like shaping and bulbing and stuff. Ugh. It's just disgusting.
Well, I think I'm more amazed at the fact that they're metallic green before they're brown.
Yeah, that's like.
Because I think I'd like June bugs a lot more if they were green as opposed to brown. Maybe I'm just conditioned to not like the brown June bugs.
And I don't know why, but you're so weird about color on bugs. You only like the bugs if they're your favorite color.
That's not true. My favorite color is yellow. I can't think of too many bugs. Sugarcane aphid. What else is yellow?
Butterflies?
Yeah, the butterflies. But anyway. Okay, so basically the pupa stage is kind of like a child, right? A very small June bug.
Yes, so it's like, pretend you, like, I think that the grub worms are like that big.
Okay.
And then they start to like shape, but they're still that small. And then the next stage is adulthood. And this is when it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it's the right size.
Okay.
Just like my foot keeps on growing.
Okay, so it goes egg, larva.
Yeah.
Okay, so the egg, not a chicken egg.
Egg, larva, pupa, adult.
Okay, so is
Four
there anything
stages.
you want to tell us about the adult stage?
Oh, yes. And it says here, adults are chaffers feeding on foliage of trees and shrubs.
Okay.
So
they don't technically want to eat my face? Because that's kind of the feeling that I get when they're flying directly in my eyeballs, that they want to eat my face off. Are you sure?
I'm sure. It says it right here. And I want to read this. I have proof that my dad's correct.
Okay.
The larvae, called white grubs, feed on the roots of grasses and other plants.
Okay.
So.
All right. So to recap, if you were to say 3 main facts about the June bugs, what would they be? What do we need to know about June bugs?
Number 1, they can be destructive.
Destructive to our lawns, right?
Mm-hmm. Number 2, they are a small bug.
Okay.
Number 3, they have wheat eggs.
Okay. Now, but in the grand scheme of things, so they're annoying to us. They're like in my hair. They want to eat my face.
They don't want to eat your face! You want to eat them!
Okay, now, you know what? Speaking You just destroyed everybody's ears that's listening to the podcast, and I apologize. But you're going to have to forgive Caroline, because she's 8, and she's on a power trip now. But anyway, they also provide a very important service in our ecosystem, right? Because they're food for a lot of other creatures, right? Like birds.
Owls.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about owls. Do owls eat June bugs? I didn't know they were insects. Well, see, there you go. So, but anyway, the point is everything kind of has its place. Even though it's super annoying to us, even June bugs have their place in our world, right?
They all have their place in the food chain. So, it's just life.
Well, Caroline, can you quickly review what those 4 stages are for us?
Number 1, egg, not a chicken egg.
Not a chicken egg.
Number 2, a worm, not.
But what do we call it? Okay.
Not a killer worm.
Not a killer worm, but it's a grub worm. But what stage is that?
That's number 2, the larvae.
The larva stage. Okay.
Number 3, the pupa, 1 stage before adulthood.
Awesome.
Number 4, the last stage, adulthood, when it starts to be really annoying.
And fly in your curly hair.
Yeah, and then number 5, it dies.
It dies on my floor, and I have to sweep it up. Caroline, high five. Thank you so much once again for joining me on the podcast.
That was so much fun.
It was fun, and I really enjoy this. Remember, guys, the universe in a seashell is all about making science happen for girls. Hey, you know what? Science is about understanding our world. It's about learning new things. It's about discovering new things. But it's also about building confidence in your skills. It's about accomplishing your goals. And it's about setting this world on fire. Right, Caroline?
Yeah.
Another high five. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. And happy 8th birthday.
Thanks, Mom.
Have a great week.